Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Wednesday Live. I'm sitting too close. Welcome to Wednesday Live. Welcome to Home Built Workshop. How is everybody this fine Wednesday morning? Camera's kind of in a weird spot at the moment. Get everything situated here. Settle in. This paper is in my way. We're going to move that. What's going on? How's everybody doing? How are we doing this fine Wednesday or Thursday morning, depending on where you are in the world? Harry dude. What's up, everyone? Sam's here. Sam says hello, everyone. Robert says, howdy, people. Hope everyone's doing well, staying safe and healthy. Robert, we're doing good. We're doing good. So far, so good. Can't complain. Harry dude, what's up? Hello, everyone. What's up, dude? How's it going? How is the Thursday morning going down there in Australia? Right on. What's everybody up to? How's your week going? Donna's here. Donna says, good morning. Coffee up. Coffee up. A coffee cheers to you, Donna, and to everyone. I've been sipping on this for a while. It's almost gone, actually. Today was one of those days that I woke up early. You guys ever do that? I woke up, not super early, but probably a half hour at least before my alarm went off. And I just got out of bed and made the coffee and started my day a little bit earlier. Just because sometimes just about the time I get to sleep, when you wake up like that, then it's time for the alarm to go off, and then I don't wake up very well. So I don't know. Today was one of those days, so therefore I've gone through a little more of my coffee than normal, but that's all right. You guys ever have that day? Harry Dude says, Thursday morning, cold, not happy. I'm sorry, Harry Dude. Warmer days are coming for you, not for us. Although it's been fairly warm, this morning was a little cool. And we got a little bit of rain yesterday, so it has kind of a cooler feel. Not a ton of rain, but we did get a little bit. So I got a sweatshirt on this morning. I probably won't need it by the time we're done, but for now, it's sweatshirt weather. Kizzy's here. Kizzy says good morning. Good morning, Kizzy. How are you doing this fine Wednesday? Hope you're doing good. Sam says, how come you aren't selling cakes? You're a baker after all. You're not wrong. I'm guessing somewhere along the line, way back when, throughout history in the family tree, one of those branches, someone was a baker. Years ago. Isn't that how that people got their last names, or surname as it used to be called, I guess? Somebody was a baker at some point. I'm gonna guess. I have no idea. I don't even know when that started. Was that like, I don't know, the 1600s or something like that? 1500s? I don't even know. I'm sure it's there somewhere, Sam. Mike Johnson's here. Mike says good morning. Early all the time. Right on. Mike, how's it going? And Brian, my hermit life, says hello from Yellowstone Park. Oh man, right on. Very cool, Brian. Enjoy. That's awesome. I've not been there. I need to go check it out one of these days. That's awesome. Robert says, yesterday I was getting notices on my phone stating that it might rain later in the day. So around 4, I started mowing. And it was about 10 minutes. Oh, it was within about 10 minutes of finishing, and it started raining. Oh, so you didn't even get it done? Oh, boy, that's fun. I had to do some last-minute mowing. It wasn't really last minute, but it ended up being last minute because of me. A friend of mine is selling a property nearby here and asked me to help out with like mowing the grass and that sort of thing. So I needed to get over there yesterday. So I went over there yesterday morning to do the mowing. But the grass, I don't know. I guess I must have caught it right as the sprinklers were done because the grass was sopping wet and it was kind of tall. So I'm like, my little push mower, there's no way it's going to work. So I got to wait till later in the day for this to dry out. So I came back home and started working on more of this stuff, which we'll get to in a moment. And I was going to go do it right after I picked up the kiddo from school because I would have had all afternoon, to kind of dry out. But then I heard, this is probably around 12:30 or so, 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, I heard that it's supposed to rain at 3. I'm like, well, I got to get this mowed before it rains. So I went back over there trying to get it mowed. It still wasn't completely dry. Ran out of gas in the mower, had to quick, I wasn't prepared with an extra gas can. Had to quickly run up to the gas station, get more gas, came back. Just as I finished mowing it, it started sprinkling. So thankfully got it done, but it was a bit of a disaster. Tony's here. Tony, morning, sunshine. I like the little sunshine icon. That's super cool. What's going on, Tony? How are you this morning? Mike says, the Johnson name is not because in my past they worked on Johns. I don't know how some of these came about, but, I thought that that's where a lot of the names came from back in the day, right? Baker and Smith and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I don't know where some of them like that came from. Dastardly Dave, sup all? What's up, Dave? How are you doing this morning? Barbara says, I did a couple more swaths with it sprinkling, then took it to the carport, and just as I turned it off, it started downpouring. Oh, wow, you got there just in time. Paul says, greetings, everyone. It's raining cats and dogs here. Wow, you're going to need a pretty sturdy umbrella to hope you don't get hit with a German Shepherd. Oh, boy. That's bad. I know. Sorry, I'm going to see myself out. So what's everybody up to? What kind of projects are on your bench? How's your week's been going? How's your days been going? How's your week been going? What are you guys working on? That's what I'm trying to get to. For me, I'm working on plaques. I mean, it is plaque city. And plaques are going super good this time. I have, let's see if the camera, we'll just jump right in. Let's see if the camera will follow me. Come on, camera. Let's go. Let's go for a little walk. Will it follow me? Can it reach? I can't see the computer if it's working. Oh, yes. Now I just have to look down. Look down, camera. Come on. Look at. Here's some right here. This is, let's see, there's 7 of them already done inside the house. This is 4 more. I sprayed the last coat of lacquer on them last night. And these things are ready. After I double check them, these will be ready to go inside for assembly. So basically what I'm doing is once they get sprayed, I'm taking them inside. That way they can finish fully curing and off gas inside the house. That way it frees up this space for me to keep working. Nothing fancy here, just a board I got propped up on my trash can and stuff, and I just use that for to help hold everything. I don't like to touch them with my bare hands once I start the finishing process, just in case I got to redo something. I don't want to get oils from my fingers on there. But yeah, got these done. I've got another 4 of them here. Come on, look over. Oh, that's you can't really see them. Come on. There we go. I've got another 4 right here that already have the walnut dye on there. And these are ready. These have been drying overnight as well. So once I get these finished ones out of here, I can start spraying the finish on these 4. And I've got 4 more of these small ones to put the dye on. So the way these 3 steps kind of happen all at once. Once I get these finished ones out of here, I'll start spraying these. While these are drying, I'll put the stain on the last 4 small ones. So it's kind of just a revolving process at this step. But all of them are lasered. Let me come back over here where I can see you guys. All of them are lasered. All of the small ones. I still have the larger triangle shaped ones, if you remember from the video last year. Those are sitting back here. I've not lasered those yet. I'm trying to get all of these at least in finish, and then I'll spend the time at lasering these. Same process. Apply the dye and spray the lacquer on there. So far, everything's going good. In fact, if you're interested. This is a mock-up. This is not black walnut. This is just a piece that I cut just to basically test my process, test the router bit depth, test everything really. But yeah, that's basically what it is. There's no finish, no stain on this, and there's not going to be. But that was just my test piece. This one doesn't even have the gold highlights on this 3D print, but yeah. So far, so good. Paul says, cleaned up the shop after bowl turning escapade, and now gonna build a frame for wife's uncle picture. Okay, and start the new artist guitar. Never a moment's break. Paul, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Because I got more stuff that I've been working on that we'll get to shortly. I want to catch up on questions or comments here. Dastardly Dave says, ship the Lefty Telly. A dude loves it. Loves how it sounds today. I'm applying clear on the next guitar. Right on. That's awesome. That's great. Dastardly Dave. Especially when you get good feedback. Isn't that the coolest? Right on. I am glad for you, Dave. That's so cool. Tony says, plant stand for the wife and a new passenger side mirror for my truck. That should get me through the day. Sounds like a couple good projects. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, I've been doing plaques. Like I've been straight on these plaques since last Tuesday. So I've got just over a week straight pretty much in there. Oh, I didn't work on them really on Sunday too much except spraying a coat of clear. Had to do some, we went and did some family stuff. But other than that, I had a buddy come up here and help me. My friend Mark, who was in the video last year, helped me for 3 days straight sanding. Because once we drum sanded these, then we sanded the top and back up to 320, sanded the sides, in the little cove, all up to 320. That's all hand sanding, and it's, well, you guys know, it's a drag. And it took a little bit longer. Oh man, I gotta tell you this, and then I'll catch up on the comments. The giant edge sander I built last year, right? I was stoked to use that. So I've been using it for other things throughout the year, but this was the main project, right, to help me sand the sides. So we get all these things ready to go. We sand the top, we sand the back. I come in to send them to use the edge sander. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be great. I change out the belt. When I bought that sander in its original configuration, it came with a whole bunch of sanding belts. And these sanding belts are 107 inches in length by 8 inches wide. So they're really big. So that was I was happy, right, to have all of these extra belts because, man, I didn't have to buy them. Well, it turns out they've been sitting around a long time. So when I put on the finest grip belt that I had, which is, I think it was a 220 belt, right, which would have made this super, super fast. Just a touch on each side with a 220, and it'd be nice and smooth. Maybe a tiny bit of cleanup with 320, maybe. Well, the tape that glues the seam or that tapes the seam together on these belts is all dried out, and all of the fine grit belts split as soon as I turned the machine on. So I hardly got to use this sander for its intended purpose. I still did with a 120 grit. I still did 120 grit because that's what was on there. But man, I was bummed. I should have tested that a long time ago, but I just thought, I've got all of these. I've got all the belts. It's going to be fine. No, it's not fine. So now I have to order some fine belts. And I probably have 20 of these belts. And of different grits. But the fine grit ones, 220 and even 180 that I tried, the tape is all dry rotted. I don't know how old these belts are, but apparently they're really old. I was so bummed out. So bummed out that they just tore it. I couldn't use them. Darn it. Anyway, we got them all sanded. We did spend, like I said, 3 days straight sanding. I was starting the laser process in between there while we were sanding, but it was pretty wild. Pretty wild. And yeah, it's just been nonstop. Heritage says, finished up a Nightmare Strat setup. Designed up and printed a prototype of fretboard guards. Lawnmower died in the middle of a refret of a lefty bass and about to order a CNC. Pretty quiet here. That sounds pretty quiet. That's awesome, Harry, dude. Lawnmower died. Well, so now you got to fix the lawnmower. Ordering the CNC. That's awesome. Have you decided what you want to get? That's super cool. Sam asks, do you vacuum out your laptop cooling fan after using it in the dusty workshop with all the airborne fibers, dust, and stuff? Okay, so technically, no and yes. The laptop that I'm using for streaming is pretty much brand new. I just got it a few months ago or several months ago this year. But my old one that I used to stream with, I was using it this time around to run the laser to engrave these plaques. But there's a problem with that one because come on, look down here. Would you look down and follow me? The camera's not listening here, sort of. All right, I'm going to stop this so I can move this manually here. Whoa. Now I spilled coffee on it. Like, at least I didn't spill it on those. So this is my old laptop. This was one that a friend of mine gave me, but it's been acting up. Something happened with one of the hinges, and it's been really sticky. But the other day, the hinge actually broke on the lid. So it's now pretty much, it's done for. This one, I have blown the dust out more than once, but I don't keep it out here nonstop. It is right now just because I need it out here to run the laser. But the new one, I don't leave that out here. I have it out here when necessary. But if any of them are going to stay out here, this one stays out here just for the time being until I'm done. And then it won't. But I don't know. I might, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this afterwards. It's still, well, it doesn't work great. It might get retired after this, which kind of sucks because I had the screen replaced, I don't know, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whenever it was. I don't know. Maybe I'll I'll salvage some of the parts out of it and get rid of the whole thing. But yeah, it's seen better days. I don't worry too much about this one. I just need it to run the laser. Mike asks, what material are you 3D printing the plaques? This one, these are PETG. That's what I printed them with this year. PETG, and then painted and highlighted with gold highlights. Robert says, have you seen the Bench Critters bench cookies that Sweet Tea and Tornelli guitars developed? I have. I bought a set of 6, and they're pretty nice, and the price is not bad either. That's good to know. Yeah, I've seen those. Mike asks, you couldn't put a backing tape on it to replace it. I don't know, to be completely honest with you. I know that it's a special kind of tape. I think I would have to figure out how to get the old tape off. I haven't played with it, to be fully transparent with you. I might be able to. I might be able to retape it, but I believe, from what I understand of that tape, and I'm not claiming to be an expert on that either, that it's some sort of heat activated tape to make it really stick. I could be wrong there, but I think it is. I don't know. If you guys know anything about it, or if you know of where I can get a tape that would work, by all means, let me know, because I've got a lot of these belts, and I haven't gone through every single one, but it sure would be nice to be able to use them and not have to buy new ones. I have found new ones, but it's literally like $75 for a 3-pack. Which, I mean, they're going to last a long time, so if that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do. But it would be nice to be able to fix them. These are brand new belts. Paul says, I can already see the problem with that laptop. It's a Windows machine. I know, Paul. I know. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's why the hinge is broken. That was a fly. Did you see him? I think he just landed on me. Darn it. Flies are coming back. Pomeroy's Guitars is here. It says, how do you deal with the airborne? So the airborne for what? Which part exactly? Need more information. I will gladly answer your question. Heritage says to Paul, could be a Linux machine. I'm considering Linux again. That's true, Paul. I haven't turned it on. It might be. It's not, but it could be. Mike says run Mint on it. Mint. All I think of is from Mint is like that budgeting thing. Remember that budget app that used to be around? Yeah, I don't know. See, it's with the broken screen. As long as I prop it up and I don't ever close it, it's probably it works. It works fine. So I don't know. We'll see. I probably won't do much with it, but I might. Heritage says, looking at the Genmitsu 4040 Pro Max CNC. Very cool. Paul says to Harry, dude, true, but it would be working if it was a Linux machine, unless he used Ubuntu. Then maybe not. That's the only Linux distribution that I've ever used. I like Linux, but I don't like command line. That's my problem. I just don't have that programming type brain, I guess. I don't know. I tried it. I set up a computer years ago as a dual boot so I could go to Ubuntu, play around with it. It just never really clicked for me. Robert says, worst case, with those belts, you can at least cut them up and use them with sanding blocks. That's what I was thinking about. I'm like, man, that's a lot of sanding block paper, hand sanding paper. Yeah, I mean, it's 8 inches wide. So it's like almost the same size. Paul says Linux Mint. Oh, gotcha. Pomeroy says the fine dust in the air not collected by the dust extraction. Oh, well, that's a good question, and that is a problem. It is. Probably with everybody. Well, first off, they make a lot of air filtration deals, right? You can buy a lot of these units. Typically, they mount in the ceiling, and they just kind of run air through a filter, and they just are constantly helping to capture some of that fine dust that builds up in the air. And a lot of you guys have something like that. I have something very similar to that as well that I use. It's a shop-built unit. It's actually a video back that I've done here on the channel. Man, I don't know, 5-6 years ago? I don't know exactly. But it's a very similar kind of unit. I use an old squirrel cage furnace blower, a small one. And I've got it configured into a box that I can put basically a small furnace filter in front. And that's what I use. Along with my dust collection. And plus, the other thing that I try to do is, and this part kind of sucks just because it takes time away from projects, honestly. So stop and I just vacuum. I'll take my shop vac and I just try to vacuum the floor and I try to vacuum everything. Before I started working on these plaques or spraying the finish, I opened up the doors and I vacuumed everything. Then I opened up the doors and I take the air compressor and I just blasted everything out the doors. And I try to get as much of the dust out as I can. It's not perfect, but it definitely helps. And then I just run this filter in a spot where it's not blowing more dust to the pieces. And that's really about all I can do. I don't have a big fancy, filtered finishing booth or anything like that. I'm just working out of my little shop here, and it's very small. So I just do what I can to try to mitigate, try to get as much dust out as possible, and then catch what I can. It's really low tech, but it works. It works pretty decent. Again, is it perfect? No, it's not, but we can get by. Oh, let's see. Mike says Mint is a very easy Linux system. Very cool. And Sam, super chat, right on, Sam. Bam, it says towards coffee for you, not the laptop. A YouTube advert deleted my super before. Really, it deleted it? I didn't even see it. Oh, that's so weird. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. Towards coffee. Yeah, I don't need to pour it on the laptop. It doesn't need anything else. It's already in rough enough shape. Pomeroy's Guitars says, I'm trying to solve that in my shop. I don't have enough ventilation. It can be a challenge. That's about all I can say. All we can do is try to mitigate what we can, right? There's only so much you can do, especially like here. I don't have space to set up any sort of spray booth, right? There's just not room. So I've tried different things. I tried spraying in a tent, like an actual camping tent outside before. That didn't work very good. They make the little spray shelter thingies. I've never tried that. I just try to mitigate the dust. I think a lot of that comes back to growing up, when I was little. My dad has owned and run an auto body and paint shop for years. He still does. But I remember way back when, before all of these regulations that we have now, paint booths and, this sort of thing, he would basically do what I do right now. Blow the floor off. He would wet the floor down to keep dust down. I'm not going to do that here, but he had a concrete floor in his shop. And that's really all he did. Try to just get the dust out that's there, wet down the floor so you didn't stir up more dust with your air hose and that sort of thing. And really, I think some of that principle is kind of just what I go off of now without the wetting the floor sort of thing. But yeah, I just try to get the dust out. I run the filter that I have. I don't even open the doors when I'm spraying because I don't want wind. If a gust of wind comes up, I don't want it to blow a bunch of dust and lands in my thing, in the piece that I'm finishing. So it's just stuff like that I try to think about. I really don't want air moving around while I'm spraying. It's a balancing act, I guess. Paul says Ubuntu, the Windows user Linux distro. Yes, I think that's why I went to Ubuntu or tried it. Mike says, and it's not command line unless you want to. Google it. Ah, gotcha. I should do that. I don't know what I would do with it though. I don't need another mess around with type computer. I got enough stuff to mess around with, but it's good to know because you never know when you're going to get fed up with the operating system you're using. Harry Dude, Linux Mint is largely a Windows-style interface, not much command line in my experience about 8 years ago. Right on. Pomeroy's Guitars, super chat. Right on. Thank you. Thank you. Right on. I appreciate that. Why is it not giving me the button? It's not giving me the button. That's weird. But anyways, Pomeroy's Guitars, thank you so very much. I appreciate that. There's a little box that keeps popping up, and I can't read what's on the screen. There we go. No? There we go. Got it. Pomeroy says thinking to add an air scrubber with HEPA. That might not be a bad idea. Mine's definitely not HEPA, but it does work. Heritage says people don't usually click with a command line interface. True, you have to. Yeah. Sam, don't forget to like. It shows all the legends, and it's great for the algorithm to push out more fantastic content to such legends. Plus, it's totally free. Well said, Sam. Thank you. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button. Show the YouTubes that this is like the cool place to hang out and talk about shop and talk about projects. And right on. Robert says, I did my thumbs up click. Did you? Haha. Thank you. Sam says, I always like to stream before it even starts. Right on. Robert says, I saw a YouTube video once where a guy built a cabinet that was the same size as his door. I had fans and filters that blew out the back, and he would just pull the cabinet in the outside doorway when spraying. That is a cool idea. That is a cool idea. I like that. I don't have anywhere I could put something like that when not in use, but I like that idea. It just replaces the door sort of thing. That's kind of cool. You could double it all up with filters. I like that. Paul says, keep saying it, Jeff. You'll get it. Just takes practice. And if you need it, we're always here to help you. I appreciate that, Paul. Hippo. Oh, anyway. Yeah, so plaques is what I've been working on around here. I don't have an update on the mystery guitar Strat guitar wiring that from last week. I don't have an update on that yet. I've not checked back with my buddy Matt, whose work got him at his shop at the moment, to see if he's heard back from the customer. I've literally been in full-on plaque mode. It looks like I might be able to have them wrapped up by the end of this week. I've been filming a little bit of video here and there, but I've not taken time to edit it. But I am probably going to be putting something together about that. Just more of a, kind of what we've been working on sort of thing. But yeah, we're in it. We're in it. Oh, and I ran out of microfiber cloths. So you apply this stain and wipe it off with a lint-free cloth. I've been using microfiber. It works really well. I believe it specifically says don't use a t-shirt kind of rag. I'd have to read it again, but I'm pretty sure that's what it says. Maybe it's something else I'm thinking of, but quite certain it's this. And a microfiber works really bad. Works really good. But I got to get some more. So I'm going to have to run to the store after this and get some more. I might spray a coat of lacquer on these plaques that are ready to go, and run to the store. But it's been full on. But I got another update after I read Paul's update. First, Sam says, "Can you get Elton John star glasses for the next stream?" I will not be getting Elton John star glasses for the next stream. Paul says, "By the way, finally I finished the Gretsch guitar wiring. I wound up replacing all the components with new Gretsch components and new wiring. Sounds great. Had to modify as the Gretsch parts didn't fit. The Gretsch parts didn't fit in the Gretsch guitar. Why am I not surprised? Why? Why can you just not buy something and have it fit? That's awesome. You got it, though. I'm glad you got it done. Because that's just crazy that probably a lot of the headaches were chasing a bad part, right? If you replace the components, it works fine. That's kind of the same deal as with those Strats I had. I don't know. I'm glad you got it, though. It's out of your hair. You don't have to mess with it. Sam says, "Why not, Jeffafa? I'm just not a star glasses kind of guy, I guess." Robert says, "Even the test plaque would look good with a stain or even just oiled." It would look. I have not sanded this down, so it still has kind of the staining from the laser. You get that, what I call smoke staining. If I could sand that off, I could put the dye on here, and honestly, it would probably look very similar to these once it has that walnut dye on there. It'd probably be a little bit lighter because the wood is lighter, but yeah, it would look pretty good. Paul says, "Nope, the pots were too big. Had to ream out those holes and then had to drill the tuning knobs because new pots are bigger shafts than the old one." Man, what a pain. What a pain. That's just wrong. Kind of like my coffee being almost gone. That's just wrong, too. It's now officially gone. Sam says, "Maybe make a YouTube play button plaque." Like that one? Or the one that's buried up there. Yeah, that'd be kind of neat. Take the same thing. It'd have to be put a play button in the middle. That would be kind of cool. But anyway, do you guys remember? I want to show you, finally. You guys remember the projects that I've been saying I've been 3D printing like crazy and working with my daughter on? You guys remember that? Hit the thumbs up if you remember me talking about that. But I haven't wanted to let the cat out of the bag yet because we hadn't gotten far enough along. Who remembers that? That's a long pause for dramatic effect. But anyway, I want to show you. We finally have launched the website on the product that we've been working on. So, I don't know. This is one of the 3D printed, this is a shedding blade for, well, we developed it with horses in mind. But we've got 3 different sizes, and it works great for all kinds of pets. Furry pets, when they lose their hair, this is like a comb, a brush, where you brush the loose fur, and it also works great for just pulling dirt out of the coat. This is what we've been working on. We just launched the website over the weekend. This is a completed one. It's got a little, I gotta block my face so you can see it. This is awkward. It's got a little blade on there. I don't recommend combing your own hair with it, but it works awesome for pulling hair out of a pet that's shedding or just dirt out of the coat. We got 3 different sizes. These don't have the little blades in there yet. But I have to cut those and get those installed. But this one's ready to go. The website, if you guys want to just go check it out, go check it out, go to hbequine.com. Just go and check out the website. Let me know what you think. There's still a little bit of stuff that I'm working on. You can check out those over there. That's the thing. These are all 3D printed. These are ABS plastic. So super strong. We got all kinds of different colors. But yeah, we've been working like crazy behind the scenes trying to get these done. We've been trying them out here. They work awesome. And just Monday of this week, we now have them. These are in stores. A local tack shop, but they're in stores now. It's pretty cool. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're just going to keep trying to plug along on these and yeah, see if we can make something of it. But super cool. They work really good too. This is it. This is called the Shedder. This is the Shedder LT9. So for Shedder Light, because I want to try to make these out of wood as well. And that'll be like the pro version. These have a double-sided blade, so you can pull this out, flip it over, tap it back in with a mallet, and that way, it doesn't. It's not a one-time, what am I trying to say? You get more use out of it anyway, is what I'm trying to say. Because you can flip the blade over when it gets dull or mucked up. Yeah. Pretty cool. Let's see. But this is what I've been working on. But yeah, go check out the website. I'm not asking anybody to buy one, but just go check it out. See what we've been working on. It's pretty cool. It's probably one of my favorite websites that I've put together. Not that I'm a website person, but there's some cool stuff that we're trying to include in that website. hbequine.com. Not sponsored, but I guess it could be, but it's not. Paul says, found a thread about the Gretsch guitars, that model, that they put cheap wires and pots. Lots of people are doing rewiring on them. Right on. Huh. Harry Dude says, yep, your new enterprise. I mean, if it did, that would be amazing, right? Who wouldn't? I wouldn't mind having, half a dozen or a dozen 3D printers just running nonstop, running these. That'd be pretty cool. Paul says, nice. Could have used those when I had horses. Oh, you had horses. Paul, these things work great. They work great for, springtime shedding, but we've been using them just after, as a post-ride kind of brush, right? And it works great for pulling like dirt and stuff out of there. It's amazing how much dirt it still pulls out, even if you're not shedding out a coat. Also just had the old round comb and the hairbrush. Father-daughter 3D printed horse hoopsies. Yeah. Yeah, the regular round, like a curry comb, curry brush. We have those too. This one works really good. Mike says, looks like a screen printing ink spreader. Yeah, very similar. I know exactly what you're talking about. Sam says you can make a white oak bathtub with chrome legs and feet. A white oak bathtub. I mean, it would be cool, a wooden tub. Robert says for FFA, where kids are working with show animals, those combs you're showing should work pretty well. They would work great on anything. This little one, not this one exactly, but I used one of these on one of the barn cats. It was shedding like crazy, so he actually laid there and let me brush on it and got a ton of hair off a cat. There's a kennel nearby the house here, and we're gonna take a few over there and see if they could use them maybe on their dogs or whatever. I don't know if they do grooming or not, but yeah, it's been fun. And this is probably the largest what's the word, endeavor as far as bringing something to market, like making something available. I've got stuff available on the home built site, but I don't, it's just kind of as a side thing. But this, we're actually pushing to try to see if, people will want this. So far, the feedback's been really good. But like I said, we really just launched the website. Well, we launched it on Saturday, had some issues. I took it down, fixed those issues, launched it again on Sunday, and have just been kind of fine tuning from here on out. But yeah, the website's up, hbequine.com. It's now available in, there's one shop here at the moment, but there's a handful of others that we want to get to. I'm even 3D printing the stand that these, I've made like a countertop display. It's like a 3-tiered thing. We've got a little packaging machine to like put these in a bag with a label. I mean, like the whole 9 yards. It's been quite the cool process. Mike said, oh yeah, Mike said screen printing spreader. Yeah, I jumped too far back. I heard it says, if sales take off, I would consider outsourcing the printing to a 3D printer farm and free up your time, so only need to assemble before shipping out. That is a possibility as well. Yeah. If they take off. Yeah, who knows, right? Like I already know that if it does take off, and we don't know how this is going to go. I will at least have to get another printer or two, but then yeah, probably outsource the majority of it, like batches, that sort of thing. But I would still probably run some at home. But yeah, who knows? We'll see what happens. If it's just a few here and there, not a problem. But yeah, we don't know till we know, right? I always thought that saying was weird. You don't know what you don't know. But it's completely true. I don't know what it's going to do. But it's been fun getting it to this step anyway. Oh, almost tipped my seat over. Let's see. Sam says horses like their neighbors. Yeah, nay. Yeah. Oh boy. Robert says take it to the TV show Shark Tank. Nah, someone else said that too. I don't think I need that. It's already done. I don't need sharks to own half the company. Sam says 3D print some casino chips. Now that you could do. Don't take them to a casino though. They'll probably throw you out. Anyway, yeah. So that's what the heck we've been working on. I mean, it has been busy. Paul, I think you mentioned it earlier. There's a lot of stuff going on. That's what I feel like here. We've been trying to really hit these plaques hard. Even though I don't have the looming deadline of last year, I am still trying. It's always been my thought that once I start on them, I'm gonna keep going because I don't want it to drag out because I'm not working on anything else. But I guess I am actually. Been working on these a lot too. But yeah, we're just gonna get it done. Mike says, take care all. Thumbs already up. Bam! Right on, Mike. Have an awesome day. Good luck. How's that patio project, or what was it? Your backyard? Harry Dude says, website looks good. I would change the Find Us link to stockists. Stockists? Is that a word? So on the Find Us page, there's going to be two different things there. Ooh, do I already have that? I forget where I left off. There's going to be place where you can see the stores. And then down below that, there's going to be like a calendar of different events. Like if we're going to be set up at a horse show or something with a table, or we're going to be at some craft market or something like that. 2 different sections to that. And I honestly don't remember if the calendar is at the bottom or not, because I was working on that this morning, trying to fine tune a couple things. Sam says, Mike, be safe. Harry Dude says, stay well. Right on, Mike. Have an awesome day. But yeah, Harry Dude, that is the page that I am working on at the moment. But I've not heard that. Stockists. I like it. But yeah, thanks for checking it out. That's awesome. I need feedback. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a little bit of a journey. So I don't know. I'll probably run over to the store that they're at maybe in a week, just to see if there's any feedback or anything. While I work on building up some more inventory to get to another shop or two here in town. Yeah, if we can get them in a handful of shops here, start getting some feedback, get them in the hands of people, spreading the word. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's been fun, that's for sure. I can say that. And it's been kind of cool because, I'm involving Haley. She's involved in this. And, as far as, yes, I did the designing and have done most of the website stuff, but I rely on her a lot for, hey, what do you think about this page? What should we change? What should we add? Do you like this? Do you not like this? And it's been cool. Harry Dude says, or change find us to where to buy. Find us implies where the business is located. I can see the calendar. Oh, I got you, Harry Dude. Okay. True. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Or I see what you're saying, and I get that. What would I change it to? Where to buy? I guess it could be where to buy, but you can buy it from the store too, like the web store right there on the website. Maybe should it be 2 separate pages? One page for the stores and one page for like the events. Like if we're going to be at different events. I don't know. What would be the best? What do you guys think? What would be the best thought on that? Yeah, I'm thinking about that. So the calendar you're seeing down below, that is one that I'm working on at this exact moment. So if you see, like, there's a list of sample events, I think, right there. I probably should have taken those off before I started promoting the site, but I've been playing around in the live view. I just put up samples and stuff. But anyway, no, I think there's only one. There's going to be there's some text and stuff that I'm changing there next to the social media icons and stuff. Sam says calendar days are numbered, Jeff. Oh, sorry. Dastardly Dave says, what colors do you have now in stock in the large one? I have, this light blue. I have purple. I have yellow. I've got all the colors. I just need to, I'm printing right now. The 3D printer is running as we speak. So really, if there's one you like, I can print. I can do any of them. I have the red, orange, yellow's already done. I have a green, dark blue. I have this light blue, purple, pink, and black. I've never printed a black, but the lady that I took it to at the tack shop on Monday said she wouldn't mind seeing a black one. So I'm going to run some black ones. I don't know how they'll look. I said I haven't run them yet. But yeah. Pretty much any of them, Dave. I can run. It just would take me a day or two a day. It doesn't take a day to print, but I would need at least a day to kind of let the print that's on there now and then run another one. If there was one, if you wanted one. Robert says, had to open a new coffee this morning. Not sure about what others do, but I keep my coffee in the fridge to help keep it fresher since it's just me. Gotcha. Yeah. I've gone back and forth on that exact thing, Robert. I have done both. Currently, I don't keep it in the fridge, but I have. And I personally have not noticed much of a difference. It still takes me a fair bit of time to work through a container of coffee, and I can tell the difference in the smell by the time I finish up the can and open a new one. The remains, what's left in the almost empty can doesn't smell as fresh, but I don't notice a difference in taste or anything. So I don't know, but yeah, keep it in the fridge if that works out. I've done both ways. Haven't seen much of a different. I haven't noticed much of a difference. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it doesn't or does. I just don't know. Robert said, oh, I just read that. I'm getting mixed up here. Paul says, get yours today. Order online or at one of our local dealers. Make entry on a page. Then it goes to 2 pages. Online, order, and merchant. Oh, ooh. That's not a bad idea. I want this to be basically as simple as possible. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to do a whole bunch of confusing stuff. Not that that's confusing, but here it says menu items, online store, dealers, and events. Break them into separate menu items. So are you thinking separate pages? Because I'm totally fine with that. If that makes more sense for like a viewer, you know what I mean? Somebody browsing the page, or somebody who actually wants to catch up to us to be able to, hands-on sort of thing. Yeah. Online store, dealers, and events. I'm not against that at all. I'm gonna have to play with that because I do like that idea. My original intent with the way it is right now was that it's all kind of under one roof, right? You want to figure out where can you see these. Where if somebody wants to see these, you can go over to the shops and you click on the Find Us page. That's why it was called Find Us, and you can go to the shops where these are in stock, or you can meet us at some events, which we will eventually be going to. That was my thought initially. It's all right there, shops or events. But I do like, and I'm not opposed at all to the separate pages. Here it says, yes, separate pages, less scrolling, and viewers can get direct to the info. That's true. You do have to scroll down for the calendar. That's true. I'll play around with that. Definitely play around with that. So, and if you guys know anybody, you want to share the information with, I don't know, somebody who has big fluffy dogs or big fluffy cats or whatever, or horses, livestock, anything like that. Anybody that maybe would be interested, share it. I'd love to be able to say that, well, I've just been printing these nonstop. If that became a thing, that'd be kind of cool. But for now, we're just gonna keep going. But there, the cat's out of the bag. I wanted to wait until the website was up at least, and I had a chance to run some to this local store to get some more feedback. I've got a handful of people that have been using these, trying them out, getting some feedback, and I just wanted to wait until bam, we hit that go live button. Let's see. Here it says online store, find a dealer, and upcoming events. Find a dealer. Just don't say that in the wrong part of town. Drizzy Guitars is here. What's going on, Drizzy Guitars? What are you working on? It's on your workbench. Builds in process? Right on. Very cool. Yeah, we want to know what you're working on. Oh, another thing with this I thought about dropping one of these on Amazon. eventually, once we get all the kinks worked out and seeing if you could sell them on there. I don't know if that'd be good or bad. What do you guys think? Dave says, bought the light blue one. My kid takes care of 2 horses for a guy. She can use it. Dave, this one right here is yours. Dave, thank you. It's awesome. So, Dave, I need to ask a favor, though, okay? During this process, I've tested the purchase procedure on the website. I want you to let me know, okay, if you run into any weird snags in maybe you didn't get an email response, maybe you didn't get updated with something, okay? Give me that feedback because there's only so much I can test. I mean, I feel like I've tested everything. We've gone through the entire process. So, but please do, if something comes through and it's not clear, like I said, you didn't get an email, something was clunky during the process, let me know because I want to try to work on that. Like I said, I want this to be as seamless as possible. You don't need to create an account. You don't need to do any of that. You can just click, 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 bam, order it. But yeah, just keep me in the loop if you experience any sort of issues. But this one right here, the light blue one, this is yours. I should like, hi, Dave. No. Yeah, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that in the mail for you. So thank you so much. But yes, please do keep me in the loop. It's always kind of weird, right? If you like launch something like that, you feel like you test to the best of your ability, but you don't know till you know. Again, you don't know what you don't know. Right on. That's awesome, Dave. Thank you. Now, Robert says, yesterday when I started mowing, it was very dry and dusty. I was wearing a neck and face gaiter to help keep it out of my lungs, but still using eye drops to wash the junk out of my eyes. Yeah, and then you got stuck in a downpour. I was looking around, right? It is so dry here as well. And when it comes time for me to mow, I mean, some of the weeds are getting sort of tall, but there's not much there. And I probably won't have to mow again. Really? I probably won't mow till I don't know, October. But it's really going to be just to knock everything down so I don't have to look at scraggly weeds all winter. I will probably be wearing a gaiter as well for that exact reason because it gets so dusty as soon as it dries out. It's the worst. Dashley Dave says, you got it, Jeff, and you have my number. Bam, right on. Thank you, Dave. Robert says, until the rain we got yesterday, it's been dry and hot, and about half of my yard is dead and dry. Mine is the same way. Everything is pretty much dead and dry. And yeah, it's getting pretty bad. Excuse me. My throat's starting to get dry and dusty too, since there's no coffee left. Sam says, do guitar dealers bag their guitars in little baggies and sell them behind the building? Maybe. That's funny. Right on. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So, pretty uneventful around here. We just been sitting around. Yeah. Sitting around doing nothing. No, of course not. We're going to finish these plaques. And we're going to make more shedding blades. And, yeah. Oh, Dave. So I mentioned these are double-sided, right? There's a video on there that shows how to replace that. This is friction fit. Don't just grab pliers and pull it out of there. You want to grab it on the side and then use it, pull the blade up on either end. If you just grab and yank, it can kink the blade. So, and I show that in the video on the website, but you just grab it there, whoop, whoop, you flip it over. And you do the same thing with any of them. That's the best way that I've found to change them. And I've been putting these in, taking them out for several weeks now, testing stuff. So just wanted to show you that. But it's on the website. There's a little video. I actually made that yesterday. So anyway, Dave says, okay, got it. So anyway, let's see. What else? What else, guys? So one thing I noticed working on these plaques, right? I've been using what? Hello? Did you forget where you were looking, camera? Did it stop? You stopped looking at me. I'm finishing all of these with lacquer, right? This is nitrocellulose lacquer, or just regular spray lacquer. This used to be Deft. You guys familiar with the brand Deft lacquer? This is it. Deft is owned by PPG, and they've rebranded it to this Prolux. It's the exact same formula and all that sort of thing. But last year, everything was perfect, right? There was no different except they had a different label. What I'm a little bit disgusted with this year is they've changed the spray tip. I forget which one I had last year, but last year's worked great. This year's, it's kind of hit and miss. It's kind of a drag. Some of these tips plug up. It seems to plug up almost instantly. So when I'm spraying it, I'm there with a rag with lacquer thinner. Spray it, wipe it, spray it, wipe it. They change these around. I gotta look and see if I can order tips. They're just regular regular deal here. Dealio. It's a dealio. But I gotta see if I can order my own because these kind of suck this year, which kind of stinks. I also heard that PPG, the architectural division, right? So they have an automotive division and an architectural. This is part of the architectural. I don't know if they sold it off or it's changing names back to Pittsburgh. Do you guys know that PPG stands for Pittsburgh Paint and Glass? Do you guys know that? That's what it used to start off with, and it used to be called Pittsburgh, but they're changing it back, I guess. I don't know if they've sold it. And guess where it was founded? Bet you'll never guess. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But anyway, yeah, I got to look and see if I can order just certain tips like that because these are garbage. I don't know what they do differently, but that's kind of been the most frustrating thing while spraying these. Sometimes a brand new can will spray okay, and about halfway through, it starts to spray like crap. So I don't know. It's been that little step has been a little frustrating. So what I've been doing is once it starts to spray bad, I'll grab a new can, spray the top surfaces, and then when I need to spray the edge, I'll use the partial can because it works better if you hold it straight. I don't know. It's weird. They changed something, and I'm not happy about. The spray, though, itself is awesome. And I really need to consider trying to figure out a way to use a spray gun because if I could buy this in a quart, which you can buy it in a quart, you just put it in a spray gun. I don't have to worry about the stupid spray tips. But here it says, do you warm your cans before spraying? I have tried them both ways. Last year I warmed them, but last year was a bit colder out, right? Because I was about a month later. Month and a half later, actually. And I would keep it near the heater. I would run the heater because it was cool enough. I wanted to keep it nice and warm in here. I would keep the cans warm. This year, I warmed a couple of them. One of them I warmed too much, right? So when I went to spray it, it blew the nozzle. Like the whole nozzle just shot out. So then it was just like a garden hose of finish. But I haven't noticed an improvement either way. It's like once the can gets half, 2/3 used, it just sprays terribly. So I've been playing around with that, hoping that it would help. Honestly, I think I don't know if the propellant's different. I don't know if it truly is the tip that they've changed. Something has changed to where it just doesn't quite spray the same. When I spray these, maybe I'll try that again. I've got like 2 cans sitting off to the side that are partially used. Maybe I'll try warming those up and see, if it makes any difference. But I don't know. Paul says, gotta go. Everyone have a great week. Take care of yourselves. Right on, Paul. You have a great week. We'll see you next week. Right on. Here, dude, says Paul, take care. Right on. Enjoy, Paul. Get on your shop. Make some more cool stuff. So, but anyway, but yeah, that's the only thing I've really been frustrated with about this time around is just something's changed. I think it's the tips, but I don't know, maybe it is the propellant because if you move it around to different angles, it sort of works, but I don't know. Frustrating. Last year I didn't have any of those issues. I just was able to spray them until the can was empty. I don't know what the difference is. That's my only frustration. And maybe, with that being said, maybe even, because right now I've got 4 at a time that I'm spraying, maybe I could still do, use the spray gun. I don't know. It's a little extra cleanup, but if I didn't have to deal with the frustration, maybe it is worth it now. Anyway, I'm just venting. Just venting with you all. So anyway, right on, everybody. Well, I think with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up. I got to get to the store to get some more microfiber cloths. I got some finish to start spraying. I got some more dye more stain to be putting on these guys. I can't reach it. I got to be very careful. Some dye to be putting on those. I keep saying dye. It's actually a gel stain, but I got a few days left of working on these, I think, and then we'll have this wrapped up. Sam says, paint the entire exterior of your house and shop with a fire-resistant coating. Do you get wildfires there? Sam, we do get wildfires, unfortunately. However, I don't live in a forested area, so the chances of a wildfire right here at the house are very low. We did have one, oh man, I don't know what that was, 12 years ago or so, 11 years ago, that was over in a forested area nearby. And we actually got put on pre-evacuation. We didn't have to leave or anything. But yes, there unfortunately are wildfires here in the state, up in the mountains. But yeah, we don't get them here. There's not much. Hang on, I gotta. There's not a whole lot here. It's a lot of open. I live on kind of what they call the plains, so there's not a whole lot of forest and stuff. I don't know. But it'd be kind of cool, especially if you live in the mountains. Man, that'd be handy. Sam says, thanks for the fantastic stream today, Jeff. Be safe, everyone. Right on. Harry Dude says, stay well, folks. Catch you all next week. Right on. Thank you all. I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out here this week at Home Built Workshop. If I get a chance to edit it, I'm going to put together a little kind of what's going on video for this coming weekend, but I haven't even started it yet. So we'll see how that goes. So if you don't see anything, don't worry. Just know that I've been focusing on doing plaques and making these shedders. So yeah, just keep that in mind. We'll get something going. Robert says Harbor Freight has some nice inexpensive spray guns. The one I got works really well. I don't remember the model. I have a medium size, just a good regular and moisture trap to help. Yeah, I have a spray gun, Robert. I've just been avoiding trying to use it for this project, even though I know that it's the better option. It's mainly because I can only work on a few of these at a time. And what I don't want to do is get the gun dirty and then have to clean it up. And then get the gun dirty and have to clean it up like several times a day. That'd be kind of a pain. I'd have to probably plan out my finishing process a little bit better. But for the way I've been doing it, the spray cans, although less efficient, have been working out better because I don't have to spend all that time cleaning up. But if I keep having trouble with the cans, it might be worth it just to use a spray gun. But I have those already. So, Drissy Guitar says cheers. Right on, Drissy Guitars. Robert says everyone stay safe and healthy. Have a great one. Right on, everybody. Thank you again. Take care. Spread the word. HB Equine. Thanks a lot, everybody. I appreciate you. Hope you have an awesome week. Get on your shops, build some cool stuff, work on some things, play some instruments, make some music, whatever it is you enjoy doing. I hope all of you get to do it and have an awesome time doing it. Stay safe, stay well. We'll catch you all next time. Thanks a lot for watching. Your stream will stop when you no longer be live. Yes. Later, everybody. Thank you. Take care.